In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon you, dear friends. Welcome back to another episode of Shadows to Shine. My dear brothers and sisters, I greet you with peace and sincerity. Today, I want to address an issue that has caused deep pain and injustice to many innocent women across the world. It is a practice rooted in ignorance, misunderstanding, and harmful cultural traditions. The demand for a woman to prove her virginity on her wedding night, often by checking for blood. Let me make this absolutely clear. This practice has no place in Islam. It is not from the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, nor is it supported by the Quran. It is an unjust and oppressive act that violates the dignity of women and causes unnecessary suffering. The tragic reality many women face. Imagine a young bride filled with joy as she begins a new chapter in her life. She has just married the man she believed would protect, love, and cherish her. But within hours, that happiness turns into heartbreak. Her husband, influenced by ignorance and societal pressure, accuses her of zina, fornication, simply because she did not bleed on their wedding night. She tries to explain. She knows she has never been with another man. She has lived a life of purity and righteousness. Yet, no one listens. The false belief that a pure woman must bleed after her first intimacy leads to accusations, shame, and even divorce. Can you imagine the unbearable pain she feels? The humiliation of being judged for something beyond her control? How many women have suffered in silence, carrying the weight of such injustice? And this is not just an isolated case. Across different cultures and countries, many women have been falsely accused, abandoned, or even subjected to violence because of this deeply flawed belief. Breaking the myth, science and Islam speak the truth. Let me emphasize something crucial. A woman does not have to bleed on her wedding night to prove her virginity. This idea is based on a complete misunderstanding of female anatomy. The hymen, a thin membrane inside the female body, does not always break during first-time intimacy. Some women naturally have an elastic hymen that does not tear easily. Others may have stretched or torn it earlier due to everyday activities like cycling, running, horseback riding, or even medical checkups. In some cases, women are simply born without a hymen at all. To judge a woman's purity based on this false belief is not only unscientific but also deeply unjust. Islam teaches us to seek knowledge, to act with justice, and to protect the honor of others. Spreading false ideas and accusing innocent women goes against these core principles. A call for change, ending this harmful practice. As a community, we must rise above ignorance and reject harmful traditions that have no basis in Islam. We must educate ourselves, our families, and our societies so that no woman ever has to suffer because of this misconception again. Fathers and mothers must teach their sons to respect and honor their wives. Religious leaders must spread the truth and correct these false beliefs. Husbands, you must protect their wives, not shame them over myths and misinformation. Let us remember that true purity is in the heart, in faith, in character, in honesty, and in righteousness. No woman should be judged based on outdated, harmful beliefs. Instead, let us follow the wisdom of Islam, which teaches us to uphold justice, kindness, and compassion. Islam's wisdom on accusations and protecting dignity. Islam is a religion of justice, mercy, and truth. It provides clear and firm guidance on how to handle accusations, especially those that can harm a person's honor, dignity, and reputation. Spreading false accusations without proof is not only a sin, but also a crime in the eyes of Allah. If a husband suspects his wife of wrongdoing, he cannot make an accusation without strong evidence. Islam does not allow anyone to destroy another person's honor based on doubt, assumptions, or rumors. The Quran in Surah An-Nur 24:4 lays down a strict condition. And those who accuse chaste women and do not bring 4 witnesses, lash them with 80 lashes, and do not accept their testimony ever, and they are definitely disobedient. This verse makes it clear, if someone accuses another person of adultery, zina, they must provide 4 male witnesses who actually saw the act with their own eyes. If they fail to do so, their accusation is considered slander, qazf, which is a major sin in Islam. False accusations destroy lives, break families, and create mistrust in society. Islam protects people from such harm by ensuring that no one can make baseless claims without proof. The seriousness of li'an, taking an oath before Allah. If a husband still insists on his accusation but has no witnesses, Islam provides a strict and serious process called li'an, mutual cursing. This process ensures that no one can falsely accuse another person without consequences in this world and the hereafter. Here's how it works. The husband must swear by Allah 4 times that he is telling the truth about his accusation. On the 5th oath, he calls Allah's curse upon himself if he is lying. The wife then has the right to defend herself by also taking an oath. If she swears 4 times that her husband is lying and calls Allah's curse upon herself on the 5th, she is considered innocent in the sight of Allah. This process is not to be taken lightly. It is designed to stop false accusations and ensure that only absolute truth is spoken. Islam does not allow anyone to harm another person's honor without facing the consequences of their words. The false tradition of checking for blood on the wedding night, brothers and sisters. Let's talk about a harmful and outdated practice that still exists in some cultures. The practice of checking for blood on a wedding night. This is not an Islamic practice. It is not from the Quran and not from the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It is a cultural tradition that has been passed down through ignorance, and it has no place in Islam. Some people wrongly believe that a woman must bleed on her wedding night to prove her virginity. This belief is completely false, both from an Islamic and scientific perspective. Medical experts confirm that not all women bleed the first time they engage in intimacy. Some are naturally born with a flexible hymen, while others may have lost it due to sports, physical activity, or even medical reasons. Forcing a woman to prove her virginity in this way is humiliating, cruel, and unjust. It causes emotional trauma, breaks trust in marriages, and violates a woman's right to dignity and privacy, all of which Islam strongly protects. Islam honors and respects women. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, set the best example in how a husband should treat his wife. He never questioned the purity of his wives, nor did he allow such harmful customs to exist among his followers. He said, "The best of you are those who are best to their wives." This is the golden standard by which a man's character is measured in Islam. A true Muslim man is one who treats his wife with love, kindness, and respect, not one who humiliates her based on false traditions. A message to those who still follow this practice. To those who still believe in this practice, think deeply. Imagine if your own daughter, sister, or mother were accused in the same way. Imagine the pain and humiliation she would feel. Would you allow your own family members to go through such injustice? Today, you may be the one making accusations, but tomorrow, you or someone you love could be the one suffering from them. Allah is just and He will hold each of us accountable for our actions. Every word we speak, every harm we cause, and every false accusation we make will be brought before us on the day of judgment. Islam teaches us to be just and merciful. The teachings of Islam are clear. We must treat others with fairness and respect. We cannot humiliate, abuse, or dishonor others in the name of false traditions. Allah commands us to stand for justice even if it is against ourselves or those we love. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm for Allah, witnesses in justice, and do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:8. True believers follow the words of Allah and the example of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, not harmful customs passed down from ignorance. Let us educate ourselves, spread awareness, and end this practice once and for all. Let us build marriages on trust, love, and understanding, not on baseless traditions that bring nothing but pain and division. May Allah guide us all to truth, justice, and mercy. Ameen. Let us take a moment to reflect on the timeless wisdom of the Quran, which guides us in all matters of life, urging us to uphold justice, fairness, and compassion in our dealings with others. Allah in His infinite wisdom commands us in Surah An-Nisa 458, "Indeed, Allah commands you to render trusts to whom they are due, and when you judge between people to judge with justice." This verse reminds us of the central place that justice holds in Islam. It is not just a concept we talk about, but a core value that we must practice in every aspect of our lives. Whether it is in our personal relationships, in our communities, or on a larger societal scale, we are called to be fair and just. And when it comes to how we treat others, particularly women, justice becomes an even greater responsibility. There are certain practices, unfortunately, that have been carried out under the guise of culture and tradition. These customs, like the one we are discussing today, have no place in Islam. They are not part of the true teachings of our faith and should be rejected. Islam was sent as a mercy to the world, a guide for all humanity, and it promotes dignity, respect, and kindness towards every individual, especially women. Women, in particular, have suffered throughout history from many injustices, often in the name of culture or misguided beliefs. However, Islam honors women, safeguards their dignity, and provides them with rights and responsibilities equal to those of men. The idea of checking for blood on a wedding night or any practice that shames, humiliates, or demeans women is completely alien to the teachings of Islam. These practices do not reflect the true spirit of Islam and must be rejected by all who call themselves Muslim. As Muslims, we are obligated to speak out against these harmful practices. We must work to raise awareness in our communities and correct misconceptions that lead to injustice. Islam calls on us to embrace love, justice, and equality, not only in our words but in our actions. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reminded us of the power of speech and action when he said, "Whoever believes in Allah and the Last Day, let him speak good or remain silent." Bukhari and Muslim. These words remind us that if we believe in Allah and the hereafter, we should speak up for justice and goodness. We cannot remain silent when we see injustice, especially when it affects vulnerable members of our society like women. If we truly believe in the core principles of Islam, we must speak out against any practice that causes harm, whether it stems from ignorance, cultural misunderstanding, or misguided traditions. Our responsibility is not just to speak out, but also to educate ourselves and others. Knowledge is key to combating ignorance. When we understand the true teachings of Islam, we can challenge harmful traditions and build a society that respects and honors the dignity of every human being. This is how we create a world where everyone, regardless of gender, race, or background, is treated with the respect they deserve. In conclusion, dear brothers and sisters, let us reject these harmful customs that go against the spirit of Islam. Let us return to the true teachings of our faith, which emphasize justice, kindness, and equality for all. Let us unite in building a society where women are not only respected but also empowered to live with dignity and honor. May Allah guide us all to be people of justice, compassion, and righteousness. May He grant us the courage to stand up for what is right and the wisdom to always seek the truth. May He help us protect the honor and dignity of all individuals, regardless of gender, and guide us in creating a world where justice prevails for all. Ameen.